Chapter 4 is the start of Unit 2 about planning, the planning aspect of management. As you listen, take notes, pause, rewind the presentation as needed so that you can get all the information into your notes. These presentations will serve as the foundation of our classwork. It will be important that everyone keeps up with the required note-taking so that you get the full benefit of the work that we do in class. Don't forget, you still have access to the textbook chapters to help you along as well. At the end of each lesson, there will be discussion question. You are expected to come to class with a response to the question and be prepared to share your thoughts and ideas with your group or with the rest of the class. You will also be expected to complete a short quiz after you reviewed the information. So after the end of this one, check for video quiz number 1 in Canvas. And so if you're ready to go, let's begin. Our lesson goals, we will examine the importance of planning and discuss how it fits into the functions of management. Then we will talk about the planning process, and finally we will discuss the benefits of planning. So what is planning? Planning is a process It involves setting an objective, which is a specific result that you intend to achieve, and determining how best to accomplish it. Another way of looking at planning is as a roadmap. Where do you want to go? That is your objective. And how you will get there is the plan. So how does planning fit in within the 4 functions of management? If the planning is done well, it creates a good platform for the other management functions. So organizing, allocating and arranging resources to accomplish tasks, leading, guiding the efforts of human resources to ensure high levels of task accomplishment, and controlling, monitoring task accomplishments and taking necessary corrective action. Note how central planning is in management. In today's competitive environment, it's essential to stay one step ahead of the competition. This involves striving to become better at what you're doing and to be action-oriented. It's about being proactive, not reactive. The planning process involves several key ingredients, beginning with setting objectives and what do you want to achieve? A good plan consists of action steps to be taken in order to accomplish these objectives. So let's look at the steps. So step 1 is of defining the objectives. Identify the desired outcome or result in very specific ways. Know where you want to go and be specific enough to know when you've arrived when you get there, or know how far off the mark you are at various points along the way. Step 2 is to determine where you stand in relation to the objectives. So where are you now? This involves evaluating current accomplishments relative to desired results. Know what strengths work in your favor and what weaknesses may get in your way. Step 3 is developing premises regarding future conditions. This means to anticipate future events, generate alternate scenarios for what may happen. For each scenario, identify pros and cons. In stage 4, you have to analyze the alternatives. Analyze alternatives. Okay. And then make a plan. List and evaluate possible actions and then choose the alternative most likely to accomplish your objectives. Describe what must be done and to follow the best course of action. Finally reach stage 5. Okay? And that involves implementing the plan and evaluating the results. Take action and measure your progress towards the objective. Do what the plan requires. Okay? And figure out, did you get there or did you miss the mark along the way? Okay? Take corrective action and revise plans as needed. Refer back to the steps in the decision-making process, identifying the problem, generating and evaluating solutions, choosing a course of action, implementing the decision, and evaluating the results. You'll see that planning is an application of the decision-making process. So why should we plan? The pressures organizations face come from many sources. These pressures are external, such as government regulations, and internal, such as greater diversity in the workplace. Planning in such conditions has a number of benefits for both organizations and individuals. First of all, it improves focus and flexibility. An organization with focus knows what it does best, knows the needs of the customers, and knows how to serve them well. An individual with focus knows where he or she wants to go in a career or situation and in life overall. An organization with flexibility is willing to change and adapt to shifting circumstances. It operates with an orientation towards the future rather than the past. An individual with flexibility adjusts career plans to fit new and developing opportunities. Secondly, planning improves action orientation. It allows people and organizations to stay ahead of the competition and become better at what they are doing. It keeps the future visible as a performance target and reminds us that the best decisions are often made before events force problems upon us. This can help avoid what is known as a complacency trap, which is simply to get carried along by the flow of events. Finally, planning improves coordination and control. Different individuals, groups, and subsystems in organizations are doing many different things at the same time. All their efforts must add up to meaningful contributions to the organization as a whole. When plans are coordinated among people and subsystems, there is a greater likelihood that their combined accomplishments will advance the performance of the organization. When planning is done well, it facilitates control. Good planning makes it easier to measure results and take action to improve things as necessary. Planning and controlling work closely together in the management process. Without planning, control lacks objectives and standards for measuring how well things are going and what could be done to make them go better. Without control, planning lacks the follow-through needed to ensure that things work out as planned. So, that's it for today's lesson. For our discussion, be prepared to explain how the benefits of planning could apply to the place where you work, volunteer, or at school. Don't forget the video quiz for this lesson is posted on Canvas. Our next lesson will focus on the types of plans used by managers.